Oh, you knew there had to be some silliness before the actual match. Yes, indeed. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Tribes. For those that are interested, I do actually have a full montage of Gravcycle sniping up on the channel. This was inspired by Cowflare's original video. But I'll link that montage in the description if anyone wants to watch it. It's fairly amusing. Much better shots than that one. That one's just sort of, you know, sort of fun. So, today I am playing Sentinel again. It's been quite a while since I did a Sentinel video. The main difference between this one and the last one is that I'm actually not using the phase rifle. I'm using the BXT1, which is the default rifle. The thing about using this gun versus using either the phase rifle or the SAP-20, which is the other energy-based rifle, is that it actually changes your playstyle completely, which is pretty cool, actually. And having used both quite a bit, I've come to actually prefer the default rifle. I just think it's better all in all for the style of play that I prefer. Which, of course, isn't supposed to involve getting destroyed by MIRV launchers, but, you know, sometimes does involve that. So, what is different about this gun versus the other rifles? Well, the main thing is that it offers a lot more flexibility and a lot more mobility. So, when you're using, say, the phase rifle or the SAP-20, the amount of damage that you can do is completely determined by how much energy you have. Not so with this gun. You'll notice the little bars charging on the side of the reticle there. And again, if you've actually played the game, you probably know this already. But basically, the amount of damage you do is determined just by that charge there. So, any other factor, besides obviously how far off you are, does not matter. This means that you can have 0 energy, be flying through the air, you can be standing still with full energy, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're going to do the same amount of damage regardless. And this is actually a good thing. Basically what this means is that, I mentioned the mobility aspect before, you can actually chase people as this, with this setup. Not have to worry about, you know, okay, I have to have this much energy to kill this person because otherwise it's not going to do enough damage or whatever. You can move around the level a lot more and generally just, I think it gives you a lot more options. The thing about using the phase rifle or the SAP-20 is that you very much get anchored to one spot because you can't afford to, you know, to move around. Versus, you'll see it throughout the course of this match that I pretty much do just jump around all over the place, constantly moving positions, and that sort of thing, which is, as it turns out, a pretty good way to play Sentinel. Now, again, there's always the disclaimer that I'm not a pro player, so there will be plenty of missed shots in this, although I think there are some pretty decent shots in this as well. So that's always good. By the way, for anyone who is interested, the final score in this match was 40 kills, 19 deaths. Nope, sorry, wrong one. 45 kills, 12 deaths, 20 assists. So, you get a lot of assists as Sentinel. Not necessarily a ton of kills, although in this situation, I'd say 45 kills is pretty respectable. And that is a 3.75 ratio, apparently, according to the stats that I'm looking at right now. Again, they've been advertising this on the launcher, but you can actually look up, using your username, you know, look up your last however many matches, check out your stats and that sort of thing. So it's pretty cool. It's handy when you're looking back. So mostly for this, I'm going to be focusing on how to use this Sentinel effectively when you have this setup. And pretty much that's going to involve being mobile and being, you know, willing to sort of move around, not just stay in one spot. Again, like I said, with the energy-based rifles, you pretty much get anchored to one spot. Because, again, you know, you can't move or you're not going to do any damage. So moving around, changing up where you are, is actually pretty useful for a number of reasons. The first one being that if the enemy doesn't know where you are, it's a lot harder for them to plan their grabs in such a way that you know, they avoid you. So, say for instance you're always standing on the left side of the flag. Well, it's pretty easy for someone who's good at running the flag to figure out, okay, if I just run in this direction, they're actually only going to have enough time to take, say, one shot at me versus 3 or 4. Versus, you know, if you're moving around constantly, there's constantly going to be the, you know, the fear in them that they don't know exactly where you're going to be, so they're not going to be able to plan accordingly. And, you know, obviously if the enemy does keep coming in from a certain angle every single time, then you can plan accordingly. The other thing that moving around does for you is it keeps people off your back. You know, typically as you play Sentinel, you're going to be standing, you know, relatively far away. And people in general aren't going to bother with you that much until you start getting a lot of kills. And then you get infiltrators and pathfinders coming after you specifically with the intention of killing you. By the way, I should have made those, but alas, can't hit them all. So, you know, once you've got a posse on your tail, as it were, it's a good idea to vary where you are so that you don't get ambushed and you can actually maybe see people coming, you know. Because again, if they don't see you, they're probably going to get focused on something else. And this not only includes, you know, going to the different sides of the flag, but also going, you know, taking the midfield every once in a while, go up on top of mountains, go up on top of buildings, and just, you know, again, always vary where you are. Now, another cool thing about this rifle is that although it does a lot less damage, the fire rate is pretty decent compared to the other rifles. And again, because you don't have to worry about the energy recharge, you can actually, if you consistently make the shots, you can actually do more damage over, you know, a certain amount of time versus the other rifles. It's, you know, there are a lot of factors in this, but don't necessarily think that this gun isn't as powerful as the other ones. It just, again, it works in a different way. So although you may have to make 2 or 3 shots for every one with, say, the SAP-20, there's a bigger margin for error. If you do happen to miss a couple of those shots, you can just immediately fire again. Also, sorry Crowbar7329, I told you were going to be in a video, but that little indicator in the top left corner probably wasn't how you were expecting it. I ended up scrapping the other footage, so yeah, sorry. You know, maybe you'll be in another one. Anyways, I would recommend trying this rifle out. It's very, very good. Again, offers a lot of flexibility, and that's really the main thing about it. Rather than just feeling like you're a turret, mostly, you actually have, you know, that option of, okay, I'm gonna be on the move and hit the guys as they go. So, for instance, here as he's getting away, if I was using the other rifle, I really wouldn't be able to follow. I would have to just sort of wait back there and see if I could get a better angle. And that's about all I have to say about the BXT1. Use it, love it, etc. When it comes to secondaries, you'll notice I'm using the shotgun this time around. That's because when I did the last video, there actually wasn't a shotgun yet. There was just the the phase, what's it called? The Nova Blaster, yeah. The Swag Blaster, the Pew Pew gun, as it's known sometimes. As far as secondaries go, the Nova Blaster is not good, so know that. Now, the Nova Blaster is very good in certain situations, but in typical situations that a Sentinel is going to run up against, it's not a good choice, and I'll get into that in a minute. So that leaves us with the shotgun and the Falcon, and honestly, I would say that they are pretty well balanced. One isn't really better than the other. Sort of, it's both a matter of preference and a matter of, you know, sort of a situational thing. So the shotgun is very, very good at doing a huge amount of damage from close range. So if you have a, say a Juggernaut coming after you because he thinks you're going to be an easy kill, you can just sort of float over his head and kill him pretty fast actually with the shotgun. You know, also say infiltrators come up on you, you can turn around and hit him with that shotgun and do a ton of damage. You can kill him in just 2 or 3 shots. The downside of the shotgun is obviously the range. That's not too big a deal. The main thing is that the Pathfinder also has a shotgun, and it's better than yours. I'm talking about the holdout shotgun. So if you end up in a one-on-one with the Pathfinder, you're using the shotgun and he's using the holdout shotgun, he's probably going to win. And you'll see a few examples of that actually over the course of this match where I just get wiped out in just a couple shots by the holdout shotgun. The goal there, if a Pathfinder's coming after you, say you have the Falcon, you can just sort of keep your distance, go down to about, or go out to about medium range, you know. Hit him a few times with the Falcon, and then if he turns to run away, finish him off with the rifle. If he decides to keep coming, then Falcon should do a decent job. So it's really, it's a situational thing versus which, rather for which one is better there. I will say that I tend to use the shotgun more, so whatever that's worth to you. If you had to choose between one or the other, I would probably take the shotgun. The Nova Blaster, now, I did mention there was one situation in particular where the Nova Blaster is quite useful. That is if a heavy class is coming after you. The thing about the Nova Blaster is it does a huge amount of damage, like 350 per shot, but it's very, very hard to actually hit with. Thing is, if there's, say, a Juggernaut or a Brute coming after you, it's actually not very hard to hit with because they're such a big target. I did a match sometime last week that I was recording, but I actually got disconnected from the server and started having lag issues, so I ended up scrapping the recording. But I'm looking back at my stats here. I had 49 kills, 11 assists, and that was using only the Nova Blaster. And before you think that sounds too impressive, know that it was mostly low-level people in there, so I was just messing around. If I was using only the Nova Blaster in this match, it would be far less kills than that. But still, you get my point. You know, mostly heavy classes were coming after me, expecting that they'd be able to kill me, you know, easily. But that 350 damage adds up really quick if you can connect with it consistently. The other thing about it, of course, being that people expect it to, you know, not be hitting, so they'll often get careless and just continue coming after you, even though it's probably not a good idea. So as far as secondaries go, my advice would be use the shotgun or the Falcon. If you want to troll people, you can use the Nova Blaster, or if, you know, the entire enemy team is composed of heavies that are constantly coming after you, Nova Blaster is actually a decent choice. Although, to be honest, the shotgun can pretty much fulfill that same role. So what about belt items and packs? Well, if you're using the BXT1, you're probably going to want to be using the jammer pack, just because you don't actually need the... There's an example of that shotgun. You know, you don't really need the faster energy restoration if you're using a weapon that isn't dependent upon energy. And Sentinels typically aren't going to be doing a lot of dueling, so yeah, you don't really need it. So I would recommend just the default jammer pack. Set those down around the flag stand or wherever you are going to be going, you know, if need be. One thing I wouldn't do is set down the jammer pack facing the enemy base. The thing is, you can actually see the jammer pack on your HUD better than you can see an enemy Sentinel. So sometimes you wouldn't have even noticed the Sentinel normally, but you see the jammer pack, and that gives his position away. There's the shotgun again. By the way, there were just so many people, both from the clan I'm in and the just my friends list in this match. Made it quite a good match. Very, very intense, very close. So what I mean about the jammer pack is that if you're going to set it on a hill overlooking the enemy base, make sure you set it behind the hill so that they can't see it. Because otherwise it's just going to give your position away. And to be honest, I found that I don't use it a whole ton. It can actually be pretty useful if you just keep it, you know, keep it on you. And say an infiltrator comes after you, set it down so that he can't cloak. It's something to try, but not really crucial. As far as belt items go, I found myself most consistently just using the regular claymores. As far as I can tell, if you're going to die in a one-on-one fight, the grenades aren't going to help you a whole lot, so you might as well just get the extra, you know, area denial that you get from the claymores. You will get so many kills by putting claymores on the flag stand, just from people who are not paying attention. So I would try the regular claymores. The grenade is good, you know, if you expect that you're going to be, you know, in a situation where you need it, I guess. But again, if you're playing Sentinel correctly, you're not going to even run into that many people. You're just going to be, again, killing people from a distance. As far as Claymore versus Focused Claymore, I don't think it really matters. By the way, that should have killed him, but didn't. So instead I just get killed by the shotgun again. Actually, no, that happens later. When you fight the same person like a billion times in the same match, sometimes you forget. Anyways, that's pretty much what I had to say about Sentinel. The one other thing actually that I did not mention about this gun is something that they patched in. That is that if you no-scope somebody with it, so you know you don't scope, you don't charge the gun at all, then it'll actually do 125, which is pretty respectable. A zoomed uncharged shot only does like 40 something, I think. So it's a good sort of last-ditch thing. Or alternately, you know, if you're at very close range and you think you can, say, hit the flag carrier on the way out, get that extra 125 damage, it's pretty decent. That was a great shot, by the way. So there's that. As far as perks go, I think I'm running Survivalist in this video just because I didn't have anything else on there I particularly wanted. But using this rifle, I would recommend throwing on Close Combat because it will, you know, protect you from a backstab, essentially. And most of the time, infiltrators are going to be expecting that, you know, you'll die after one backstab. So when you actually, you know, turn around and, yeah, I should not have gotten killed there, just was not paying attention. But anyways, when you turn around and you have that shotgun, it's quite effective. And that's that. So we're about 20 minutes in. That's not too bad. I do actually have something else to talk about. So I think we're going to be good. For those of you who don't know, Hi-Rez has basically come out and said that they are no longer updating tribes. So no new content, essentially, in the foreseeable future, which basically means ever. In fact, they went so far as to say that it would be more likely that we would see a Tribes Ascend 2 than we would see another big update. And then quickly followed that up with, and we're not even working on Tribes Ascend 2. So, yeah, that sucks. Very much so. Very much so. Now, they didn't say that they're going to be shutting the game down, you know, closing the servers and just saying GG. But, at this point, I would be very weary of actually putting money into the game because there is always that risk. Now, the best case scenario would be that they actually decided they were going to essentially hand the game over to the community. And I don't actually see this happening, but, you know, say, okay, we're opening the game up to mods, you can host your own dedicated servers for free, just, you know, let the game run its course. Sort of like what they have for Modern Warfare 2 with Alter IWNet or Alter Revolution. Something like that would be really, really cool. You know, just get the custom servers in there that you can just run, host your own, and just let the community take over. Because that's what they need. Because let's be honest, in a lot of ways they haven't done the best job that they could have with this game. As far as, you know, I know that even though I'm not a competitive player, I know that there was a lot of dissatisfaction in the competitive scene with how they handled certain things like, you know, spectating or that sort of thing. And then, of course, almost every weapon patch, the new weapons have been incredibly unbalanced on launch, and they've had to patch them afterwards. And yeah, just they didn't do as good a job as they could have. And I mean, it's easy to see why they're basically ceasing development of the game. I mean, Tribes has been hurting for players. There's no real doubt about that. And, you know, Smite is their moneymaker at this point. And they're also pushing Global Agenda. And Global Agenda 2, which I guess is being worked on right now. So, I can't say it's entirely unexpected, but, you know, it always sucks. I mean, the game is only a little over a year old. So, that happened pretty quickly. Now, the fact that they're not updating the game anymore doesn't mean I'm going to stop playing it. You're still going to see Tribes content regularly as long as I continue to play, which is as long as the game stays up, honestly. I think there's a core group of players that are still very active in the game, and you know, a core group of reasonably high-level players who make for good matches like this one. So I'm going to continue playing it. I recommend you continue playing it, or start playing it if you haven't already. It's a very good game, and is very much worth your time. In fact, I would go so far as to say there is nothing like this on the FPS market, or the free-to-play market, or games in general. I mean, how many games let you ski around with a jetpack and shoot people out of the air using discs? Exactly. So, you know, don't stop playing, and as unlikely as it probably is, you know, if the game does have a resurgence of players, maybe they'll start updating it again. Although I would not hold my breath for that. So there's that. Somewhat depressing news. But again, for the sake of this channel, business is going to continue on as usual. I still love playing the game, and I still play it regularly, and again, I've still got that, there's that group of people that I am constantly playing with, constantly running into, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. By the way, very consistently lately I've been running into a lot of people that watch my videos, Mr. Crowbar being one of them. It's very cool, but it's very strange, because I do have a pretty small channel still, which I, you know, hope will grow at some point. And is growing. I mean, I'm getting maybe a subscriber a day, which is not a lot, but it's growing. And actually, if you search, at least as of right now, if you search Tribes Ascend gameplay on YouTube, one of my videos is on the first page, so that's cool. But anyways, yeah, it is a very strange experience to run into people and them say, yeah, I love your videos. It's an awesome experience, but yeah, I'm still getting used to it. So for all you people that do watch my videos, thank you very much. And, hello. You know, hopefully you will see yourselves in some of these videos, because again, the player base has gotten a little bit small. I don't even know what was going on here. We were just in some sort of really awkward dance or something. Neither person actually hitting the other. Horrible shot. And here's what I was talking about with Sentinel. The moment someone runs away, they're essentially dead. Because you have the hit scan and they don't. Okay, how are we doing? 26 minutes in. I'm doing alright. For those of you who do run YouTube channels and do commentary, I mentioned this before, you do know that once the video starts to get up into about the 20-minute mark, it gets very difficult to keep going other than, and then this happened. And then that guy killed himself. And then this guy grabbed our flag. But I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. So conclusions: keep playing Tribes. It's awesome. As far as Sentinel goes, mix up your positions. Try firing from different angles. Generally, just mix things up. Make it a lot harder for your enemy to figure out where you are. And being able to hit those shots consistently will come with time. You know. I still haven't gotten it down to where I can hit every single shot, but it gets easier. Although it never gets easy because this is still Tribes. We're just about done here. As I said, the final score on this match was... wait for it. 45 kills, 12 deaths, 20 assists. So yeah, that's a 3.75 kill-death ratio, and almost a, I guess about a 2 ratio of kills to assists. I mean, 20 assists is a lot of assists, but especially using the BXT1, that's pretty much what it's going to be for you. Also, let's have more matches like this. I was very, very happy with how this one turned out. No stacked teams. By the way, I totally should have killed this guy, but I just choked on the taking the shots. Right there, that one I totally should have hit him, but I just messed it up. It's all good. It is all good. But hopefully this match gives an example of why stacked games are no good. And stacked games, what I mean by that is all the people that are consistently winning join the same team, and all the people that are consistently losing end up on the other team. That's no fun. We want matches like this, because even if you lose at that point, it was still a great match. Because it's no fun for anybody if you just, you know, rush through and cap out the flag within the first couple minutes. That's about all I got. We got about a minute left. As always, I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. I Going to keep playing the game. As I've said, I actually have several other matches sitting on my hard drive right now that I just haven't commentated over. So you can look forward to those. As always, let me know what you thought. Let me know if you have any particular strategies, if you have anything that you'd like to see me attempt in the game. I mean, obviously there's no guarantee I'll be able to do it, so if you tell me to get to the Slayer using only the Nova Blaster, that probably isn't going to happen, but I will often try my best. Generally, yeah, just leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.